This podcast is recorded on Gadigal land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Hello and welcome to She Said What? I'm your host, Alyssa Harper, and this podcast is all about unpacking the chaos and the things we've had to push through to get to where we are. This is your safe space to learn from others' experiences, reflect, and then become your most authentic self. You're gonna giggle, you might cry, and you're definitely gonna get the tea. Let's get into it. Thank you to Field for sponsoring today's episode. If you don't already know about the exploration and dating app Field, then we'll talk more about them later, but let's get into today's episode. Joining me today, we have content creator, host of Sydney events group Pretty Connected, creator of ebook Happy Gut, Happy Skin, dancer, skincare icon, queen of confidence, Liz Claire.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here.
Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
on.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to dive deep into all the topics.
Yeah.
And I'm just bubbling with so much joy. So thank you.
You're welcome. And we have so much to talk about. I was saying it just before we started today that I have been so inspired by you for years. I've been following along for years, and now we've known each other and we've gotten to see each other so much. And everything you shared, from your journey with cystic acne to when you shaved your head. What a crazy time was that?
Sometimes I get the itch because I want to do it again.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my God. I did love it though. It was so
Thank you.
fun on you. And I feel like everything that you share, especially in your content, is just so much about confidence and how much you've grown and going out dancing and meeting new people. And it's what I think so many people need to hear, because so many of us are so trapped in ourselves and we get so nervous and we don't know how to connect with new people, especially going into our 20s and our 30s. And so, yeah, I want to get into starting out with what kind of inspired you in the first place to start sharing your journey online and why you started doing even content creation.
Absolutely. So I think we all experience that self-doubt and negative talk. And I think that dragged on for way too long in my teenage years. And it came to a point where I just wanted to break free from that, especially as someone who was struggling with cystic acne. It was such a visual thing. So everybody's just staring at my skin. And I felt like a monster looking back at my reflection. And I hated that feeling so much, because I think at my core, I knew that there was so much more to offer than what I looked like.
Yeah.
So one day, this is when Instagram was starting up. It wasn't as popular or as known or used. And it was all just picture perfect models.
Yeah.
And I found myself editing pictures of myself, and I knew it was bad. And so eventually I created this Instagram page, and I came up with the name Pretty Progress, because I think I knew that my journey was about making that progress. It wasn't about perfection. So I created this account, and it was just an online diary of my skin journey. And it was nerve-wracking. I was terrified.
I could only imagine. Yeah.
From, wanting to be this perfect girl
Yeah.
to just finally revealing my skin without the makeup, without the editing. And I realized that so many women around the globe was struggling with the same problems as, looking back and not liking what they see.
Yeah.
So when I found that I could connect with different people around the world, it gave me confidence to continue sharing my journey.
Yeah.
And I started talking about skincare. And then I realized it's beyond skincare. It's more about how you feel on the inside, what you eat, how you navigate lifestyle choices. So now I just dabble in different niches and topics, and I share about my journey to confidence.
I love it.
And now it's my full-time job, and I'm
Wow.
just honored to be a part of this community to increase that positivity and self-love in people. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, because I think back to the days when I was in high school and I would edit my photos as well. Big fan of Facetune back in the day. And I look back at some of those photos now and I'm like, first of all, I was so cute and sweet and I didn't need to do anything to those photos. And also they look so cursed. Like they're so washed out. The whole face is one tone. The eyes are detailed. Really
back then
scary.
we couldn't tell, but if we're looking back at it now, we know it's heavily edited.
Archive. Yeah. Wow. And I'm so glad to hear that you recognized in yourself in that moment, I don't need to be doing this and I need to put myself out there. And that's the hardest part, is even starting the journey
Absolutely.
of being I'm going to even let people see me like this. Because I remember seeing at one point you posted something about dating and going on dates with people and how your skin was holding you back. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we live in an age where it's all about how we look, and we have dating apps, we have, these edited magazines, even ads online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all want to make a great first impression towards the opposite sex. And the first thing they see is your skin. And I think when my skin was just red, irritated, and I had these large nodules on my cheeks, I was terrified. I was like, they're not going to even give me a chance.
Oh,
And and for a long, long time, I would put dating off completely. I wouldn't want to date.
Mhm.
And as I started building my confidence via small steps, I realized that having acne is a form of like a superpower. I'm allowed to filter out people who are superficial.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yes, the first thing you see is your skin, but if you don't even give me a chance to show my personality, why would I want you in my life in the first place?
Right.
So it's about reframing my perspective and realizing that I have so much more to offer, and I will focus on the conversation at hand rather than focusing on what they think about me. So the more I allow my energy to flourish, the more they see that I'm more than my skin. And then I realize that dating can be so much fun.
Yeah.
So it's not about what I look like, it's about how I feel. And if I feel confident, usually the date does really well and I'm able to be myself. And my first boyfriend of 4 years was somebody who saw past that, and I was able to find love. And from there, I think it just gave me confidence that, dating is meant to be fun. If it's not fun, why are you dating in the first place?
Hell yeah. And I love that you pointed out, like, you had that moment where you realized it was something that would actually turn off potentially some people. And instead of being like, no, that's not true, or trying to cover it or trying to conform, you were like, hold on, like, this is something that, it could turn off some people, and it's going to turn off the wrong people, the people I don't want. So who gives a shit? Like, my person who I love, who I know is going to want me and love me all the time, when I'm not wearing makeup, when my hair looks crazy, when you're shaving your head or you're doing whatever you're doing, they're not with you because of their image or their ego. And that's so cool that you're able to make that like switch over, because it's good for you and it's so much better for the relationship. And
even on that point about seeking that validation, I think after overcoming my acne journey, I did have confidence and my skin cleared up because I was doing all these lifestyle changes. But at the same time, there was still a part of me that needed that validation from men. And so I took that step further by saying, okay, what is it about me that makes me so vain? So I shaved my head.
Wow. That's where that came out of. I've always been so curious.
So that was one of the reasons. I was like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself, take my hair away from me, shave my hair, and just see what I'm like as a person beyond my outward appearance. And of course, I've always wanted to shave my head because I think a woman needs to do that once in her lifetime. It is so liberating and so much fun to do. And when I did that, obviously, I think I felt empowered in that moment. And the next day I started crying and I said, I look like an Asian boy. But I could not do anything after that. The hair is already gone. And I had to force myself to feel empowered, force myself to get that confidence again and base that confidence on things that actually matter and not my appearance or how pretty my eyelashes look or how pretty my hair like was flowing that day. And so confidence is it's a feeling. You have to build on that feeling. And I always tell people who ask me like, were you always a confident person? And I always say, it's not something you're born with. It's something that you have to practice on. It's a skill set. So when you know it's a skill set, that gives you opportunity to build on it and actually spend time building on your self-worth. So as soon as I realized that I could feel powerful and unstoppable, I realized that that's where confidence comes from, and I don't need male validation. And I can't believe that my whole life centered around that when I was much younger. And I think that's because the reason why we feel that way is because that was the narrative that, girls grew up in. Like, we have to attract the opposite sex.
From movies and everything else.
Exactly. So it's like reframing your perspective and finding your way out of it. And growing from there.
Wow. And I love that. And I think like self-trust is so important in the process. Like, people say like nothing changes if nothing changes. It's like you made such a big step by shaving your head. And it sounds like kind of crazy to go and do. But the fact that you went and did something that was a bit of a shock to the system, and it forced you every day to like wake up and be like, yes, I'm still going to do the things that make me feel pretty. Like, you might still have been, doing your skincare, doing your makeup. It's not about completely throwing away, your appearance, but it's getting rid of those specific things that you might have been doing just because you were told that they were pretty. And kind of redefining what that even means for yourself. Like, what a beautiful process.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
But also, you don't have to shave your head to detach yourself from male validation. There are things you can do.
What are some other things that
I always say, obviously, you don't need to do outrageous things. You can if you want to, if you want that big challenge. But for the most part, it's those small steps. So I always come back to having hobbies. And people are like, what do you mean having hobbies boosts your confidence? But there are so many types of hobbies that teaches you so many different things. For example, I got into running and that taught me resilience. I got into dancing and that taught me to be free in my body. So having different hobbies allows you to hone in on yourself, to realize that you are so much more capable. And the more fun you have with your life, the less you're going to focus on what other people are up to or what other people think about you.
Absolutely.
So hobbies is my little secret.
I so agree with that. I honestly feel like even in the last year, that's been a big thing for me. Is I always notice if I am not doing much throughout my week, or I'm so focused on like trying to get people to think something of me, or even just working and not taking time to like just have fun or be around my community.
Yeah.
I go into all these things so anxious. Like if we're going to an event or something like that, I'll be walking into the event like nervous, like thinking like, oh, what did I wear the right thing? How am I measuring up? Like, am I going to find my friends when I first walk in, or am I going to look alone? Like all these like really negative thoughts. Whereas if I've been in my community or doing things that actually build myself up throughout the week, I'm like walking in like, if anything, I'm the person to go chat up somebody who's on their own. Cause I'm like, oh, they seem like they might need a friend kind of thing,
I love
so
that.
It's like, I get to be not only better for me and my experience, but better for everyone around me.
Absolutely.
When I realize like walking into a room, how I look is the least interesting thing about me, and what I have to say and kind of how I leave people feeling is the end goal, like it making them feel good, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel that too. How you see yourself allows you to show up better for other people as well. It makes such a huge impact, and it's a ripple effect.
Yeah. Wow. And I want to just go back a little bit into your like journey with acne, cystic acne. Is there anything in particular where you started to notice a big shift when it came to skincare things that you did, or even treatments? Because I know you've had a bit of a journey recently with a newer treatment, and there was a big video where you were burning your skin or something. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, I want to go back to when I was a teenager and I had these little puberty pimples. Everybody told me it would go away. But at the same time, I was so focused on what I looked like, in high school. So I went back to the doctors and they'll prescribe me antibiotics. Now, antibiotics is a quick fix. And unfortunately, even though it, gets rid of all the bad bacteria, it also wipes out your good bacteria. So once you get rid of that good bacteria, your body is completely defenseless. So it is more likely to fail in protecting your immune system, protecting you from getting acne again. So I went through rounds and rounds of antibiotics, destroying my gut. My skin got worse. And then I was prescribed birth control pills.
Yep.
Suppressing my hormones. And then that didn't work. Guess what? Okay, why don't you go on Roaccutane? And I refused to go on Roaccutane, which is a more intensive drug, quite harsh on your body because it's literally getting rid of
your mental health and
your mental
right?
health. Yes. So my brother was on that for 9 months and he had a whole host of side effects from hair loss, liver damage to depression, and it was just a lot. So I knew I shouldn't go down that route. And I had to push, every fiber of my being to think of the bigger picture. What is it that is causing my acne? Because I truly believe that acne is a visual symptom of what's happening on the inside.
Yeah.
So because I knew there was an imbalance, I started looking at my gut health.
Yes.
And, I'm so glad that social media is talking a lot more about your gut health, because once you eat a balanced diet, you sleep well, and you're making sure that you're taking care of your mindset, all of those holistic approaches will allow you to clear up your skin.
Yeah.
Because your skin is seeking that balance. So I started changing everything about myself, about I didn't eat junk food every day. And
which is so easy to do.
Which is so easy to do. And sleeping at 2 a.m. in the morning. When you're young, you're flexing, or I only had 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
That is not a flex.
It's not a flex. No, not anymore.
No, once you're getting older, peeps, you realize how important your sleep is.
Yeah.
So it was a change over time. And of course, skincare played a huge factor, but it's also that holistic approach by being consistent with your skincare, eating enough fiber for those, short fatty chain acids for your, good bugs in your body.
Yeah.
And making sure that you are just energized for the next day. So you're not always lacking on sleep. All of that contributed to clearing up my skin. And now I'm in this whole journey of like revising my scar journey. So I have scars from my acne, and then I'm doing that because, you know, it's all about progress. That's why it's pretty progress.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So
okay, cool.
it's when somebody asks me what really cleared up my acne, I always say go through that holistic route.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds tedious. It sounds like it's so exhausting, but this is your health we're talking about.
Yeah.
The greatest investment that you need to make is your health, and it's going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like a lot of people will initially want to just fix that visual thing, like because it does stop them in their lives from feeling confident in so many ways. But if you actually sit there and think about it, it's like, wow, your health is actually so much more important. We're talking about longevity.
Yeah.
We're talking about like your immunity, so many things that you want to be aware of. So if you are having the symptoms showing you that your body is imbalanced, like let's go in and actually figure out what's kind of going on. How did you even start in the first place? When you would see things on social media about gut health, and were there things that you tried that absolutely didn't work and weren't necessary? Or were there things that you're like, I swear by this, you must do this? Like, what are we working with when we talk about gut health?
It's so scary because, yes, you get so many different recommendations on social media.
Yeah.
And it is, unfortunately, a process of trial and error. And I've tried a lot of things, didn't work. Tried a lot of things that did work. And I think one thing I would say is that I want people to focus more on what they're eating instead of focusing on supplements. Supplements can definitely help, but the word means you're supplementing what you're adding on to what you've already done.
Yeah.
So don't make it your holy grail, you know, the pill that changes your entire life. That is not realistic.
If only it were. Oh my God.
If only it worked.
Yeah,
yes.
Completely. I hear you. Yeah.
So, I mean, there are a couple of things that I absolutely love in terms of supplements, but I always say focus on your food, focus on your sleep, focus on your stress, all the things that you can actually do, and then supplement. Yes.
That's great. And I think that's great advice. I think so many people will just look, especially on the websites that are promoting these pills, and we'll kind of go, okay, perfect. I'll get one for sleep, and I'll get one for this, and I'll get gut health, and I'll get this and that. And then everything, I'll get one for the skin. Look, it's a complex, you know, and you get all of them, and you're sitting there and you're taking all of it, but maybe you're waking up every morning and you're not having any water at all. And you're drinking that coffee on an empty stomach, and you're running around with your cortisol all over the place all day long. You're not even eating enough, especially a lot of women. So it's really cool to hear that you found that balance with all these different pillars of your life.
Thank you.
Then you bring in something else to help you along the way.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Don't just focus on one thing, because again, I think we are so inclined to try to have quick fixes.
Yeah. Okay, so something I've found and what I've been hearing from you guys on socials is that the dating app fatigue is real. The same answers to the same prompts and trying to adjust your profile just to please someone, it's making us feel more disconnected than ever. And that's why I've partnered with Field, because they've carved out a space for you to find yourself. On Field, you have the breathing room to explore your desires and even find communities that share your interests, like Pilates, going to the beach, and new cafes. Or at least, that's what I love to get up to. Free from ads and completely independent, this is the place that draws curious, playful, and open-minded people, the ones you've been looking for. In fact, 62% of Field members evolve their sexuality and interests and desires within the first year on the app. And more than 20 sexuality and gender identities to choose from, you have the freedom to explore who you are and what you like in ways you haven't imagined. And there's also room for friends. Connection comes in many forms, and Field is a space for all of it. Whether you just moved to a new city and need a new community, or you're traveling and looking to meet new people, it's possible to find a bestie here. I honestly wish I knew about it when I moved from Canada. So if you're ready to explore, use the link in the episode description to download Field while you listen to the rest of this episode and start your own discovery journey today. You created an ebook.
I did.
Where you talk, congratulations
Thank you
on
so
that.
much.
That is so cool.
I put my heart and soul into it, and the feedback has just been amazing.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I just wanted something where it was just straightforward. And that whole entire book is just about making small changes that will make a difference, teaching them about food, teaching them about fiber, teaching them about how to better your digestion. And then at the end, there's a couple of product recommendations and supplements, but it's not the main focus of the book at all. It's making people in control of their own health. Which I'm really proud of.
Wow. And I love that you mentioned digestion as well, and being like, it's not just about even the food you're eating. It's about like, you know, when we're eating as well too, considering like how our hormones are affected as well too. Like there's so many pieces to it. I think that's why for me, even like I feel like it has been overwhelming to work on my gut health. And I think sometimes I just think I put it in the back out of my mind. I'm like, I take that probiotic at least once a week. You know what I mean? That's got to be doing something good for me. But the more I like take my time with it, and the more I do one healthy habit, the more it makes me want to do others. Like, I don't know if you're like that. It's like you go to the gym in the morning and then you come home and you're so much less likely to want to even like have a glass of wine that night or like eat shitty food or whatever when you're out, because you're like, actually, I will go home and I'll make myself something, because you're in that mindset. And so I feel like building on those habits can be really helpful as well.
That's one of like the key pillars into changing your lifestyle. It's about habit stacking. And the more you feed your brain with the positive things that you're doing, the more likely your brain is going to be like, okay, yes, I can do this. I just got to keep on building that. And it makes that possible.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. I feel like that's kind of most of what I want to hear about your journey and everything that you have gone through when it comes to like acne and gut health and all these things. I love what you do and I love what you share online. But because, we love to talk about dating on this podcast. And of course, we have our sponsor, Field. Thank you to Field. Of course, we're going to talk about dating a little bit here. And I know you are in a relationship.
I am a year and a half now.
Yes,
very
year
exciting.
And a half. We won't get too much into it. I know you like to keep it a little sneaky, but you post a little bit.
Yes, I post a little bit. I don't show his face, but I realize that it's nice to protect your relationship a little bit. As much as I love to overshare, he's a sweet boy.
That's sweet. I saw on your page the other day, you had like a photo of the two of you and there was like a hat or something in front of his face. And I was like, wow, she's really getting creative with these now. Like, this is good. We went from like blurring, we went from emoji. Now it's actually posted into the photo.
No, we have like different props. So sometimes it's a big fat leaf when we're like hiking in the middle of nowhere, or we have a cowboy hat when we're in Uluru. So it gets really fun.
Sweet. That's so fun. Well, I want to, although you are dating somebody, I think this is good because you do seem to be in a very happy, healthy relationship. So maybe you can give the girlies some advice here. Let's start off with, what are 3 green flags for a first date?
Oh, okay. The first one is honestly just being really curious and enthusiastic with what you do.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people get so excited with the day and they want to prove themselves. So their attention is all on what they do and they forget to ask the girl a question.
Yeah. I literally said the same thing last week. My first one, I think, was curious. Like, it's actually crazy how much like that doesn't come through with some people.
Yes, because I think when you're curious, obviously it means you're actually interested in getting to know the person, not just dating for the sake of dating, not just dating for the sake of feeling good about yourself. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes people just get lost in it all.
Yeah.
So being curious is definitely my first green flag. The second one is being grounded. I used to be a very, very chaotic person. And I think I can be. I have like very high energy and I can be quite extroverted. But having somebody who has that personality, I think you need to be also grounded and calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that calmness. And it just makes me feel like I'm at peace. So while still having fun, I'm not talking about, don't confuse calm, like being grounded and calmness with boredom.
Being boring.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I completely agree. Yeah. And I think you need someone who makes your like nervous system feel calm in that way. And I find like that's where I notice if that person is actually doing that for me, because it's like I'll hang out with them and then the next day I'm like, and what's on for today? Like, I just have more of a calm vibe about me. And I think that's always a really good green flag.
Yes.
Yeah, do we have one more?
We have one more. The third one is, if they are too quick to want to create a life with you, please, please run away.
The love bombing. It's horrifying.
No, it's horrifying. But the thing is, young little me would fall for it because I'm like, I mean, why wouldn't he be obsessed with me?
Same. I was the exact same. I absolutely have done that. I'm like, because I'm so flattered by it. They're like, in our house, we're going to have this and this and this. And I'm like, our house? Yes.
I remember I went on this date with this man and I remember it was just like a cute picnic day. It went very well. And then he would like look into my eyes, hand on my cheek and say, I want to take care of you.
Why is that like such an ick? Like,
it is such an ick, dude. You don't even know me. Like, why do you want to take care of me? Am I this like weak little girl? Like, it does not make sense to, we'll talk about the future. Too much of that is it kind of feels like you are already in love with the idea of me. You don't even know who I am yet. You're not even curious to know who I am. So taking it slow.
Yes.
And making sure that he gets to know you before he makes all these future plans with you.
And I think it comes out of them wanting you to fit into their life in a box that they've like created,
Yes,
like kind of like what you said.
absolutely.
It's like they've come into that moment to go like, perfect, I've met this person. Yep, they'll do the job. And then it's like they want that romance. But if you're doing it from this like false reality or this false version of it, it's so scary. It's so scary because that will fade so
absolutely
quick, right?
Yes. Yeah. When it starts intense, it usually ends very intensely as well.
Yeah.
So avoid that.
Been there, done that.
Next scratch.
Yeah. Well, can we have 2 more red flags?
I think this is an important one. If you cannot have a mature conversation about finances, you're not in a mature place to talk about a long-term serious relationship.
Yeah.
I think you have to be very, very comfortable. There's a lot of, it's like hush, hush under the table when it comes to talking about finances with your friends, with people around you. Yeah. But if you can't have those conversations, then why are you being in why do you want to be in a relationship with me?
Yeah.
So a red flag is feeling uncomfortable about finances, I think.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yes. I wouldn't think of that, but like as you're explaining it, I'm like, wow, because you do get people who just will not dive into it or are very uncomfortable to even share about maybe where they struggle, especially a lot of men.
Yes.
And like we need to, I want to know kind of where you're coming from.
Be honest. And then that way we can actually start a relationship on an honest, transparent like foundation.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's a great one.
And I think the last red flag would just be not loving your job.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Because I don't know if people realize this, but if you have a job that takes up 80% of your life and you absolutely hate your job, it will bleed into other parts of your relationship because that disdain for your own life will be projected.
Yeah.
I think you don't have to absolutely fall in love with your job, but at least enjoy it because this is what you're settling for.
Yeah.
I've had a relationship where he just hated his job. So what happens when he comes home from a long day?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible mood, terrible energy.
Yep.
And
you're working to pull them out of that. It's like how exhausting.
It is so exhausting. And I think you need to make a decision as a grown person to find what actually makes you happy or at least something that lifts up your mood at the end of the day because it takes up a lot of your time.
Yeah. Or at least be like the kind of person where you can not maybe like the work that you're doing, but know how to make your day enjoyable. Like listening to podcasts on the way in, enjoying like your lunch and really taking that time to not just like doom scroll, but maybe like reading or doing something that like fills you up. Like because I've definitely been in that situation before where I have really not liked my job. Like I worked in hospitality for 7-8 years. Like I would have these crazy 10-hour shifts and sometimes barely get a break. And I would like I hate this. Like I'd be on the way in like nearly crying, but I would be like, you know what? Like I really like these people at my work. Even there's people I don't like. I really like these people.
That's good.
And I like that it's in a clean, beautiful space. And I like that I actually don't have to work past, say, 10 p.m. or whatever. And I was trying to like kind of count my blessings so that the energy would shift even if I didn't like the job. So I think if you're going to be with someone who, doesn't like it.
That is absolutely important to find the gratitude in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
But if you completely wholeheartedly hate your job and you can't find any good in that, then yes, it will impact the relationship that you're in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I was the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
So I think my red flags are the indirect things that will impact the relationship.
Yeah. And it's so much more about that person, like their lifestyle and how they live as well. It's not just about how, and I think that's something that a lot of people confuse. It's not just about how that person treats you. It's so much too about how they treat themselves, what their inner world looks like how they treat their friends and their family. Like you're going into somebody's whole life, not just having a few interactions with them every day and they make you feel special.
Yes,
right?
It's beyond that. It is beyond that.
Yeah.
How you treat yourself does show up in how you interact with others.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, moving on. What's the best date you've ever been on?
Oh, okay. I think the best dates are always the most spontaneous ones.
Yeah.
And I genuinely love this date. I was in Byron Bay at the time, solo traveling, and I had this guy take me, and we did a lot of movie references. And do you know Walk to Remember? It's a chick flick, but basically,
maybe I'm bad with names.
That's
maybe
okay.
if I saw a little poster.
So the protagonist had this whole bucket list that she needed to finish, and one of it was being at 2 different places at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And I remember referencing it to that guy that I was seeing, and he was like, "Let's do it." So we're at the border of like Queensland and New South Wales, and he's like, "Put your foot here, put your foot here."
Aww.
And I was at, and it was just such a small little thing that I had referenced, and he was listening attentively, took me there, and it was just a cool little thing that we did.
Yeah.
And that day it was raining, it was pouring, and we were chasing waterfalls. And I was completely unprepared. I had thongs, shorts on, and there was leeches on us, and we're just, oh my God.
Oh my God, this is so like I didn't grow up here, Cora, for me to be reacting this way, but what the actual hell?
There was a little bit of a risk factor there, but I think our interaction with leeches and finding the joy and the excitement and the laughter in that experience.
You're just losing your mind. You're losing so much blood. You're just knocked out.
And it was just so magical in that we could find the joy and the excitement in that.
Yeah.
And of course, we caught these beautiful waterfalls. I don't know if you know, but when it's raining, the waterfalls, like the water cascades, are just so powerfully beautiful. It's so majestic. It's amazing. Like you should, definitely see a rainfall when it's raining.
I need to get over to a waterfall. Yeah.
Yes.
I grew up in Niagara Falls, so Lord knows I need to see one. Just a bunch of little ones, and it will add up in my brain for me. That's great.
So that was my favorite date.
That's lovely.
A risk factor in there. A little bit, being spontaneous.
A little bit of drama.
A little bit of drama. And just having somebody who doesn't take life too seriously. I think that's the best part about it.
Oh, I love that. And not trying to like look a certain way. Like one of my friends always says this, like we all need to have a little bit more ugly fun.
Yes.
Like we need to stop trying to have pretty fun all the time. Like I don't want to just always be like, haha, oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Like with a drink or something. Like, no, take me out somewhere where I can get a little bit dirty. Like in Canada with Tom, my boyfriend, we were going around on my like childhood bikes and just like going up and down and going to like a little ice cream shop and going to the lake, and like that's one of the best days I've ever had with him, because we were just like having fun and we were sweating and we just, it wasn't pretty, but it was just like natural and honest and connected.
Connected. And I think the only way you can feel connected is when you feel like you're yourself.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I love it. Well, let's switch it up. What's the worst date you've ever been on? Do you have a bad date story at all?
Okay, so the thing with me is the thing is I love to see the good in things. So even though I've had I had 2.5 years of being single before my current partner, and I love dating, and I enjoyed the experience so much because you get a feel of what you love and what you don't like. But because I was enjoying the experience so much, I didn't really heavily focus on what went wrong. But if I was to kind of dig through, I think it was just this one experience when I was in, I think it was Brussels, and I was on a date with this guy and I really wanted to see a live jazz band. But prior to that, we had pre-drinks and we were dancing out in the open. It was beautiful. I love dancing. So anything to do with public dancing, salsa, a bit of bachata with the crowd, I adore it so much. It just brings me so much joy.
Yeah. I
think he had too many drinks. And then after that, we went to a live jazz band. Have you ever been to a live jazz band? It's like each different instrument, like they kind of compete against each other, or they seamlessly blend with each other. It's just beautiful. So I was enjoying a jazz, band in front of me, but he was ready to party, and he was loud and he kept drinking, and everybody who was enjoying this jazz band obviously saw this chaos in front of us, and he was a little bit aggressive in his advances. So I think I didn't. Yes, that was a bit of a disappointment. Yeah, but I think that's one of my worst dates.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of bad date stories come out of someone drinking too much. That's a whole thing. Yes, I really feel like first dates, yes, you can do a few drinks or whatever. It's fine, but I think a big night for the first meeting might not be the way to go, because especially you're trusting your time with that person too, and especially if you're going to anyone's home, you just gotta be mindful. Because it can get a little bit crazy.
And there is such a thing as self-control,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hope for a first date.
We would hope. Oh my God.
Yes. So,
well, looping all the way back around, just going back to, of course, your journey with your skin as well, I want to ask one more thing. If you could give someone advice who wants to go on a date, want to get more confident in going to meet new people, but their skin is something that's holding them back, do you have any advice for that person?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that a couple of people love dating via the apps. And I've had a little bit of the experience with the apps. And I think a lot of women, myself included back then, would post beautiful photos of themselves. And if that's not how you look, you will put more pressure on yourself to present yourself a certain way when you do meet someone in person.
Yeah.
So I realized that if you're doing dating apps, try to be realistic with your images. So that way you're not putting extra or unnecessary pressure to be a certain way when you're meeting somebody. So when you're crafting your profile, pick photos that aren't, the best photos. Just pick realistic photos of yourself, have fun with it.
Yeah.
And that way they know what to expect. You know that you're not lying, and it allows you to be more transparent with your own journey so you can show up more authentically. Yeah. So that's definitely a one pointer. The second one is to agree on dates that you will enjoy. Sometimes you say yes to a fancy dinner, but maybe you're not a fancy dinner girl. Maybe you like to have a picnic at the park. Yeah. So if you are enjoying an activity, you're more likely to focus on the experience than what your skin looks like.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 pointers.
I love that.
Making sure that you're enjoying the experience and being honest with yourself. Because if you're honest with yourself, you can be honest with the partner that you're seeing. Yeah. And focus on the date.
I love that because I think it's so important where people go to do things that they don't even necessarily, like they don't even want to go to that place, or they don't even want to do that thing, or like say a movie. Like I remember when my boyfriend always makes fun of me now for it because when we first started seeing each other, he have to ask me to go to the movies and I kept saying no. Over and over and over again. Because I was like, I just don't, like, first of all, you make me nervous. I'm not comfortable around you yet. And I don't want to sit there awkwardly beside you in a movie. And just the whole time, all I'm going to be thinking about is like you and I. And if I'm being weird or if I'm sitting the right way or if I should be touching you or not. Like, I'm too crazy. Like, I can't be doing all that. Like,
and you don't even get to talk much on,
no, you don't get to talk.
At a movie day. Exactly.
No, I know. I'm sorry, Tom. But I'm like, I was like, not good. And he always says it now too. Like, every time we go to a movie, he's like, finally. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. But I had to like put my foot down and be like, no, like I want to go to this like cafe or I think we should like go on a walk at like botanical gardens or like something where I'm like, I know this is already going to make me calm and feel good. And I would have fun even if you weren't here. Like, so I'm not wasting my time. You know what I mean? And you kind of need to do that, especially at the start.
Because you don't want to add on an extra unnecessary anxiety. Yeah. So just focus on what you actually enjoy. And then that way it's easier for you.
Thank you so much for coming in and joining me. Can you tell them where they can find you? What, like, talk about your ebook, everything, all the exciting things?
Okay, so you can find me mostly on Instagram, prettyprogress23. I honestly just post my life and, share good tips about how you can boost your confidence and feel good in your body. The way I share my journey, I hope that inspires you to live authentically. You will find me on my other social medias with the same username, prettyprogress23. And of course, if you want to take control of your gut health and just feel good, you can definitely check out my ebook. And I'm excited.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Alyssa.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Quick, before you go, if you want to have a say in future episodes and you want to hear more from me, you can follow me at Alyssa Taylor Harper on Instagram and TikTok, which will also be linked in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you're listening from so you never miss an episode. If you'd be so kind to leave a review, it helps more people like you tune in. Or maybe you want to share it with a friend who needs to hear more chats like this. Love you lots, and I'll catch you next time.